Fiend in bandages. Cannibal victim had his revenge. Only 4 men escaped when the British square-rigged yacht Periot capsized in the Atlantic in June 1884. Huddled in a battered dinghy, they drifted for 25 whole days. Near death from starvation and exposure, Captain Edwin Rutt then made a last desperate suggestion. Lots should be drawn to determine which of the 4 would be eaten. 2 of the sailors agreed with Rutt, but 18-year-old Dick Tomlin, the youngest crewman, protested that he would rather die than eat human flesh. Tomlin's resistance sadly sealed his fate. At the first opportunity, Rutt crept towards the sleeping boy and drove a knife into his neck. The mate, Josh Dudley, and seaman Will Hoon had no reservations about cannibalism. When they were rescued by the yacht Gellert 4 days later, it was the slain boy's flesh that had sustained them. The horror-stricken master of the Gellert rejected the idea of burial at sea. Hidden away underneath a tarpaulin, the body of the victim accompanied all 3 survivors to the Cornish port of Falmouth. All 3 were tried and condemned to death for murder on the high seas. But the Home Secretary decided that there had been horror enough and commuted the sentence to 6 months' imprisonment. No one could have known that the horrors were only beginning. When the 3 men were freed from jail, they found little future. To keep body and soul together, Josh Dudley found work as a drayman. 2 weeks later, his team of horses saw something that frightened them in the middle of a foggy London street. Bolting, they tossed Dudley to the cobblestones, where his head shattered. Witnesses said the thing in the fog had been a figure swathed from head to foot in blood-stained bandages. After Dudley's death, the figure mysteriously vanished. With fear beginning to take root, Captain Rudd went to the Soho slums and sought out Will Hoon. He found the old seaman far gone in drink, a sodden derelict in desperately bad health. Rudd told Hoon that some vengeance-crazed relative was masquerading as Dick Tomlin's ghost, and he urged Hoon to help him ferret out the plotter. But Hoon only wanted more gin, and in a last delirium he was taken to the charity ward of a hospital where he died in a screaming fit. Witnesses said later that another patient dressed all in bandages had been holding Hoon down, apparently trying to soothe him. Then the patient seemed to vanish. Now, in a state of abject terror, Rutt went to the police. They scoffed at his tales of figures in bandages, but in view of the captain's mental condition, they offered him 1 night of lodging in a cell. Rutt went gracefully into the cell, checking twice to be sure he was locked in. It was a cell block for the disturbed of London, and screams in the night were not uncommon. But when at 3 a.m. the police heard the captain, some distinctive quality in his cries brought the wardens running. They unlocked the door and went into his bunk, where Rutt lay with his knees scissored upward and his dead eyes like marbles. Clenched in his fingers, the shocked bobbies saw threads of cotton and blood-stained gauze.